who didn't do a Jeff Hardy Swanton bomb, in their parents' house when they were kids?
We got a lot of kids in trouble back in the day, right? Breaking beds and couches.
That led up to me doing the leapfrog leg drop over the ladder and just doing one of these and absorbing all that energy from the crowd and go, oh my God, we are crazy on to something. And it changed our lives, that match did.
I think it's our passion that drives us, motivates us, and it just keeps us going like that. And it's really important to cement our legacy that we are one of the greatest tag teams to ever do this. I think Genesis has the potential to be a pay-per-view of the year.
Welcome everybody to the Postland. Today I am having a conversation with a legendary tag team, a tag team that's been wrestling since 1993 in Trampoline Wrestling Federation. Since then they won tag teams championships all over the world, over 20 times. Collectively, they won the TNA World Tag Team Championship in 2015. They're also 3-time TNA Tag Team Champions. You've seen them wrestle all over the globe in various promotions. They have also won several championships as solo competitors as well, collectively holding the TNA World Heavyweight Championship 5 times. Like Booker T, 5 times. They are an inspiration to many of the tag teams you see today. There would not be the iconic ladders, tables, and chairs matches without these two. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Hardys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that very kind introduction.
No problem. Thank you guys for taking the time to sit down with me. And obviously we're here because TNA Genesis is right around the corner. How are you guys feeling leading up to Genesis?
We're feeling good, man. We're really feeling this run. We came to TNA and we feel really good about where we're at. We worked very hard to earn the World Tag Team titles again, and we won them in a spectacular fashion at Bound for Glory in a Full Metal Mayhem reimagined. It was the match that we created, the TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs, and Jeff put his own spin on it by doing all the art on all the tables and ladders and chairs that were involved in the match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, Genesis is going to be a different level for us, I believe. I've actually been watching old Rascalz matches. I've actually been watching old Freebird Von Erich matches from the 80s and just, combining the old with the new and finding that happy medium within there. Man, it's super exciting, and I think the Hardys will be on another level on Genesis. It'll kind of be like a Genesis of the new vibe of the Hardys is the way I'm feeling.
And I think, too, Genesis is going to be really exciting because the Rascalz very much remind us in the year of ourselves, in the year 1999 or 2000. They're a young, new version of the Hardys in many, many ways. So it's like we're facing ourselves. So it's going to be very interesting. And we're looking forward to dealing with these guys. Sure, we're a little older. We're a little bit slower, but we're gonna use our experience to outmaneuver those guys.
That's right.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up the Rascalz, because I remember they were talking about how they deserve a shot at the Tag Team Championship. You guys came in the frame yeah, you guys remind us of us. Like how does it feel to know that you guys inspired so many people, not just, the tag teams, but singles competitive too? Because I remember Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, Private Party, and so on, they've all said you guys have inspired them. So how does it feel to kind of come full circle? You're wrestling the people that you inspired.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Last week on Impact is when we pretty much made the match official, and they were talking about before they got into wrestling how they were doing swanton bombs off their bunk beds onto the couches and breaking stuff, and they even said who didn't do a Jeff Hardy swanton bomb, in their parents' house when they were kids. So to be this later in our human existence and still be competing at this level it's such a blessing.
We got a lot of kids in trouble back in the day, man. Breaking beds and couches.
Yeah, definitely me. We won't talk about it. But I definitely been in trouble before. And I definitely appreciate y'all, because you guys, I'll never forget one of my favorite Hardy moments, and maybe it's because I'm older, but I remember you guys debuted at a company, well, not debuted, you returned to a company. You guys had just wrestled at Ring of Honor the night before. Then you're wrestling the next night in another hardcore match. And I was just like, I'm kind of old myself. I'm like, how are you guys doing this?
Yeah, man. That was a long weekend. A lot of people don't really remember this, but the Friday night we had a main event at a big wrestling show, WrestleCon, against Penton Phoenix. who's one of the greatest tag teams in the world currently. It's great to see them getting their flowers nowadays. But we had a hell of a match with those guys, and then we went Saturday night. We faced the Young Bucks in a ladder war, and had a crazy ladder match with those guys. And then we ended up showing up at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, and we had another ladder match. It was wild, and we won the WWE Raw Tag Team titles. It was a hell of a weekend, man. I think sometimes we wake up in the morning and we look in the mirror and we go, how do we keep doing this? You know, I think it's our passion. Our passion fuels us.
Yeah, when Broken Matt Hardy first started talking about the expedition of going, I was like, oh God, where's he going with this one? And the way that all turned out and played out, I still go, what actually happened, man? Who were you talking to that I didn't know about? You know, what was going on? But it was so crazy. And even that night before, you know, I think I only took like 24 super kicks and maybe went through 3 tables, you know, and then went out at WrestleMania the next night to the loudest reaction I've ever experienced.
Yeah, that was insane to see. 'Cause I remember hearing the rumors, and I was like, "There's no way." They just, like you said, I forgot about the Friday. So you just wrestled 2 nights in a row. There's no way they're doing 3, and you guys showed up. And one of the things I did want to ask, you guys have been wrestling since the '90s. You guys have been together. You guys have been broken up. All kind of things. Did you guys ever? Could you see yourself in '93 being like, "This is what we're going to achieve"? All these tag team goals, all the singles goals. Could you see that vision then?
I don't think so. I mean, our goal was to, you know, one time be the World Tag Team Champions. I think in, you know, WWF or WCW, and if we did that, we could call it a career, you know, but we obviously see that many times over. So we couldn't have foreseen all the success that we had, but we were both very blessed to have it.
And I think my favorite match of all time and what really changed our careers was that first ever tag team ladder match with Edge and Christian. And there was just one little spot I did early in the match. Or I think, did Jay jump off that ladder and drop kick me?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was the moment. I was in the turmoil, took the drop kick, and I was like, whoa, we're on this. This is going to be special. And that led up to me doing the leapfrog leg drop over the ladder and just doing one of these and absorbing all that energy from the crowd and go, oh my God, we are crazy on to something. And it changed our lives, that match did.
Yeah, it's really cool to know that you guys have consistently change people's lives, because a lot of people, they take inspiration from you guys. I know there's been times people say, hey, you're the reason I wake up in the morning and things like that. And now you're getting ready to wrestle at TNA Genesis. And I got to ask you guys, what was like, for your TNA career, what was the best moments from your TNA careers?
There's been a lot of great moments. Something that really stands out to me, and I think both of us as well, is the final deletion. You know, whenever we started the whole Broken Universe, and I was doing Broken Matt Hardy, and he played Brother Nero perfectly to a T, and we had that first match that was a cinematic match that kind of led the way, especially after the pandemic happened. It kind of you know, we kind of laid a blueprint out for ways to do things without being in the ring in front of a crowd. And we wanted to tell a story by doing it just on our property and shoot more like a movie and whatnot. And that's something we're very proud of, because that became a special deal.
Yeah, there's been so many moments in TNA to where before I do something, I'm going, okay, this might be the end of my career tonight. Okay, am I sure I want to do this? Yes, you want to do. You got to do this. So many moments, man. The final deletion was so cool, because it was just like 6 human beings spread 300 feet of drop board, getting the scenes in and the shots before the sun came up, and the way that all worked out, and it was incredible. And also one of my solo moments was when at a Bound for Glory one year when I wrestled. I think it was 2012 maybe. I wrestled Austin Aries in the main event, and I got this like John Cena reaction, and that right there was kind of huge. I was like, whoa, okay, this is what and who I am at this stage of my life. And so I'm looking forward to many moments like that this year in TNA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to come, because right now TNA is in a growth period. They've had a lot of new stars. There's a lot of people who weren't given opportunities elsewhere that are getting those opportunities now. And there are new guys coming in, new guys and gals coming in, and they're getting opportunities to show to a mainstream audience exactly who they are and what they can do. So how does it feel for the Hardys to be a part of that growth of TNA that is going on right now?
It's been great being part of the resurgence of TNA. And I think Genesis, for instance, it goes down on Sunday, January the 19th. It's going to be a huge show. I mean, you have us versus the Rascalz. It's the first time ever match. It's the Hardy Boys facing the younger, new versions of themselves, right? You have Moose taking on Ace Austin, which is going to be an amazing match with the X Division title. And it's something I think that is very important and critical to the show is Nick Nemeth is defending the TNA World Heavyweight title against Joe Hendry. And Joe Hendry's a guy who's really helped get TNA hot because he's became this viral sensation, right? So I think crowning a new world champion in Joe Hendry would be a big deal if that ends up happening in Genesis.
And TNA Genesis normally means beginning. It means the beginning of something. And I think this is definitely the beginning of a new exciting period within TNA. But let me ask you guys this. What happens, and we're not saying it's going to happen, but what happens if the Hardys do lose to the Rascalz?
Then we do what we do. We pick up the pieces and move on. You know what I mean? And we get back in the mix to go after those titles again. Because our goal in 2025 is to have an absolutely amazing run.
Amen.
And now with the obviously you guys are doing the first time ever match with the Rascalz. Never faced them ever before. Are there any other first time matches you guys are looking forward to?
Yeah, we're probably thinking the same thing. But the Motor City Machine Guns, that's a match we've never had, and hopefully before it's all said and done, that might be a possibility.
Yeah, there's never been a Hardy Boys versus Motor City Machine Guns match, so that's probably one that we would say is on our bucket list. We've wrestled almost everyone in existence over numerous generations over the last 33 years, but that's one team we haven't faced yet.
I always remember my last run at TNA. It was the night that the Motor City Machine Guns, they had a match with Beer Money, and it was just, as a wrestling fan, I was just all in, man. It was such a good match, and that's what I love, especially about tag team wrestling.
So now you guys have been a tag team for so long. You also had a great solo career. Do you guys see yourselves going back to solo careers before it all said and done, or do you guys want to continue to reach newer heights as tag teams?
I think right now our goal is to evolve the Hardys, almost reinvent ourselves and become a new version of the Hardys that is new and relevant. As far as the single stuff goes, I can see us branching out and doing that later on, but never say never in the extreme life of the Hardys.
Yeah, and even in that Full Metal Mayhem reimagined, there was so much work going into that, all that painting that I did. I was like, when I was done, I was like, okay, I'm never going to do that again. But after that was over and I was super proud of how it turned out, it wasn't long before I think I kind of want to do that again. But as a solo competitor, down the road, and I've already kind of started manifesting this, Jeff Hardy versus Moose in a Full Metal Mayhem match reimagined for the TNA World title. So hopefully in the future we can make that real.
I definitely want to talk about that because injuries are a huge part of wrestling, going through the pain. How are you guys able to wake up, be like, you know what? I definitely want to go to that table tonight. How do you guys get into the mindset? Because I'm thinking about it I get scared to jump off staying on the bed and jump off. I may hurt something. You guys are literally climbing ladders, been tens of feet in the air, jumping off, and then you guys get up yeah, we did it. Let's do it again. How do you guys get into the mindset? What is that mindset like?
Man, for me, ice baths have been, oh my God, so beneficial. I've been doing them for about 2 years now, and I never look forward to doing one. I look forward to getting it over with, because after it's over, I'm so proud of myself and ready to start the day. But that's been a game changer for me. So.
Yeah, I think more than anything, I think it's just the passion. We have such a love for pro wrestling. I think it's our passion that drives us, motivates us, and just keeps us going like that. And it's really important to cement our legacy that we are one of the greatest tag teams to ever do this.
And I remember in the segment with the Rascalz, you said you guys are the GOATs of tag team wrestling. So if you guys took yourselves out that equation, who would be your GOATs? If it wasn't the Hardys, who would be the GOATs of tag team?
I mean, a team that's always going to stand out, I think, is the Road Warriors, LOD, because they were just two monsters who had such a different presentation, and they were like a main event draw, and they drew so much money as a tag team. It's a different story nowadays, though, because they weren't like a high work rate team, right? They didn't go in the ring and necessarily have great matches. They just went in the ring and murdered people, beat them up really badly. The Dudleys stand out. Obviously we have a lot of respect for them. They're our fears, and they're the most decorated tag team of all time. So I would probably say the Dudleys.
Yeah, and I'm on the line with first for me was the Rock and Roll Express, but then the Rockers. And then I think that's when we kind of came in. They inspired and influenced us so much. But the Freebirds as well, man. I got to give them props, man, because the juke that I do came from Michael Hayes, just doing this into a moonslide and making the tag. So, yeah, I'll go with the Rock and Roll Express for my number one.
And one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, because you guys talked about so many different tag teams, each of those tag teams had different gimmicks and things like that. How are you guys, because you guys have come up with several gimmicks over y'all's career, and I remember, I'll never forget the first time I saw, like, when you was like, yeah, this version 2.0, I'm like, same as version 1.0. And as a kid, I didn't get it, but as I got older, I'm like, I get it now. But how are you guys able to stay creative? I mean, there's been so many gimmicks in wrestling, nearly everything's been done, but somehow you guys are constantly reinventing the wheel, making the Hardys stay relevant, even stand out more. How are you guys able to do that?
I just think it's important, especially you can't be one character, but for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? You have to switch things up and do something different. You have to add or take away or, take a different approach to things. And I think that's what you're looking at now in 2025. I think you're going to see a reinvention of the Hardys again. I think it's going to be something new, fresh, and creative. And I think it's something that's going to end up being a big deal when it's all said and done.
Yeah, for sure. I've never really, acted that much in professional wrestling. Like what you see out there is pretty much who I am, strange and a little out there. So I think 2025 is going to be huge for me to develop a transformation and who and what I am out there in that ring. And along with Matt, there's so much that we can do that we haven't done before. And super excited about Genesis is going to be the beginning.
And before we get you out of here, I do want to obviously talk about this. Chris Bey, unfortunately, suffered a very unfortunate injury. And I just want to ask, what is Chris Bey to TNA Wrestling? Like, what is he like backstage? Like, how important is he to TNA Wrestling?
He's amazing, man. I watched this morning when I was studying the Rascalz, I watched ABC and the Rascalz, and they just had an incredible match. He's great, man. He does music, and just being in the ring with him that night, it's so crazy how something can happen within the blink of an eye. But we stay in touch with him now. But just watching that match this morning, it was a little intimidating. Okay, we got to kind of hang with that, and we will in our own way. But yeah, Chris he's in my prayers, my daily prayers to make a full recovery.
He is such an inspirational human being. You know what I mean? The way he has dealt with this injury, the positivity and the optimism he's had is just truly inspiring. It's really motivating. I think it motivates everyone around him to work harder, to be better, and to look at the positives in life. He is just such a stand-up, positive guy. And like Jeff said, he is in our prayers every single day. And it's great that we talk to him regularly. And he's getting better, which is just a blessing.
And the last thing I got to ask, we want to definitely get people to come to Genesis. So anything you want to say to the fans that are kind of like on the fence, like, should I come to Genesis? Like, they're still trying to decide if they want to buy the tickets. Anything you want to say to the fans?
The biggest thing I would say is TNA really is in a resurgence period. And Genesis is kicking off 2025. And I feel like, with the Hardys as World Tag Team Champions, we have helped add a lot of equity to the company. I think if Joe Henry can capture the world title, I think that's going to be a big deal. I think he would be a great face, a great spokesperson for TNA moving forward. I think Genesis has the potential to be a pay-per-view of the year. So if you are anywhere in Texas, especially near Garland, Texas, where we're going to be, I would say come out and watch it because it's going to be a big pivotal pay-per-view for TNA and the pro wrestling industry.
Yeah, TNA has truly been there for me in some dark times with my personal issues in life, and this is my chance to really show them how grateful I am by giving them the best version of Jeff Hardy the wrestling world has ever seen.
Also, I definitely appreciate you guys' time, and definitely look forward to seeing TNA Genesis, the beginning of something new, another growth period in TNA. So, guys, make sure you go to TNAWrestling.com, get the order Genesis or get Genesis tickets. Make sure you go check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the legendary tag team, multiple time champion holders across various promotions, the Hardys.